Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, and the iconic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back to Big D Energy.
Big D.
Right here, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl. That guy is back in effect. Darren McCarty here in the house. The cough has cleared to some degree.
Yes.
At least.
Feeling a million times better.
Absolutely. T-Foss, Terry Foster here back in the house as well. You're a very fine gentleman.
I'm just happy to be here. Now, why did I deserve the one-finger salute from Rick Mahorn the other night? Did you make it? Did you put him up to that?
I did not. He just said we were in a commercial break during the game, and I was talking with him, and we got to talk about what's going on and what are you up to and stuff like that. I said, I'm working with DMac and Terry Foster. He's like, Terry Foster, that bum. And
sounds like him.
Yeah. And so he took a selfie and sent it to you.
Okay.
So
I was just wondering why, and I just texted back and said, it's been so long since I've gotten one of those from you.
Absolutely. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. And speaking T-Foss, now DMac went in, as I always say, Darren McCarty is perpetually 12 years old. In not as much in the way he acts at times, but certainly in the diet.
Absolutely.
Certainly in the diet. He eats like a 12-year-old. Today he had the peanut butter and jelly French toast from Birmingham Roast, which
I passed on the Pop-Tart. I said, today I'm upgrading, and I'm not going with the Pop-Tart. I'm going with this. And I sat here in the middle and conversed, and I ate, and I enjoyed.
Can I make a confession?
Which Terry Foster had a story about.
I walked into Kroger as a total dick. I said, I'm sick of Darren McCarty and this frosted Pop-Tarts crap. So I said, I'm going to buy me either strawberry or blueberry non-frosted Pop-Tart. So I kept looking and looking and looking. There were none. So I looked in the back for the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Couldn't find them. So I said, damn, I can't shove it down his throat because the frosted Pop-Tarts are gross. That's
with you.
frosting.
That is blasphemy,
That is
Terry
blasphemy.
Foster. And what does that tell you, kids? There's candy corn out there still, and there's no non-frosted Pop-Tarts. What am I saying? Non-frosted Pop-Tarts are even worse than candy corn. People have spoken.
But DMac, what
Karma to Terry.
What about the fact that Terry Foster, Detroit sports media icon, took time out of the day to go to the grocery store to try to find unfrosted Pop-Tarts, which don't exist, strictly for the reasoning of saying, Darren, I got these for you. Ha 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 ha.
I love it. I love it. That's that. Hey, anytime Terry's being mischievous, we all benefit from it.
That's true.
Right? I think his influence over the conversation he probably had with his Black Santa, right? Because you did send a photo out and say Black Santa did get into it, and the presents would be a little bit later. I think this was part of that. So I don't mind it at all because karma spoke free. So the fact that Terry's got to think again on how he's gonna figure it out. So if anybody out there, do not tell Terry Foster where to get non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
And along those lines, Robert Colosia, T-Foss, Amazon, bro. So there you go. If you want to take it to the next level, take it to the next level.
Or if you don't want to go Pop-Tarts route, I'm sure you could go to the dollar store or Great Value and get the non-frosted toaster treats.
Oh, God.
I don't even eat those.
Time out. Even this 12-year-old's appetite is going to pass on that.
My mom used to buy
Toasties?
toaster
Yeah, they're
treats
gross.
and crispy rice and fruit circles, the bags of cereal, like the giant bags.
You don't want to
of
spend the
cereal.
extra money on the boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Spenmo's preaching it right now. Lots of talk about the different. I'm surprised that people are so split on it. Cherry frosted, strawberry frosted, or cinnamon frosted. You know what I'm saying? Those seem to be the three.
All good, Spenny. All good. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding,
Take
ding.
it. It.
Cinnamon brown sugar. So
Delicious.
Do we need to take it to the streets? I think we need to. Cinnamon brown sugar frosted or strawberry frosted.
When I was a child, Pop-Tarts came out when I was a child. They didn't have frosted.
Right.
They had strawberry, cinnamon,
The Dark Ages.
Blueberry.
yeah, blueberries, whatever.
The Dark Ages.
They
What do you
just
mean,
ate 'em.
Spenmo?
And they were good. Then they came out with the frosting, and I tried it and didn't like it. It was, to me, frosting should be soft. You put it on cake, and you can spread it.
Right.
It's not this.
You don't need to
chemical
chisel
looking-
it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need, and then they have fake marks in it, like they baked it on there. You know that wasn't baked on there.
Is that what those marks? I thought it was so they could breathe in the toaster.
So, all right, Spenmo put it up there, right? He's taking it to the streets, T-Foss.
Okay.
We'll let the people decide. It's a democratic society. Our show is no different. The people will decide. What's the better Pop-Tart? Cinnamon brown sugar frosted or strawberry frosted?
Hey, you know what?
So
It
there you
wouldn't-
go.
It wouldn't be a true conversation if we didn't go into the booth and let Sam try to legend kill Pop-Tarts.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
All right,
Go ahead, Sam Flannel.
Can you just give
Toaster
me...
strudels are
Tell us
better.
how
Yeah,
The bowl season now, you don't know who's playing. Some teams don't have coaches. Other teams have guys that say they're entering the transfer portal, but I'm going to play this game. Like last night, it's wild. It's a wild time. My main question right now about bowl season is this, Terry. All of a sudden, the Peach Bowl, which is one of the national championship semifinal games.
Right.
Georgia will be playing in the Peach Bowl, hosting Ohio State. Where did the Peach Bowl get all this run from? When did the Peach Bowl become this integral part of the bowl season? Because the people who know, let's be real about what the Peach Bowl was. It was that one that's on at New Year's Eve at 7:30 that a non-deserving Miami team would play a non-deserving Clemson team or LSU team. And no one paid attention to it because it started at 7:30 on New Year's Eve, and you didn't care because you were out like Spenmo. You were out in the streets tying one on. You're getting loose for New Year's Eve. Wait, what happened? Why did the Peach Bowl become this central figure of bowl games? All of a sudden, it's a New Year's Six bowl. All of a sudden, it's important. Why? Based on what?
I have a theory. Now, back in the day, I always have to take people back, and the only bowls that mattered, well, the major bowls were the Cotton Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and then the Fiesta Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl was the BS Bowl too, but it got into the I'm a big boy now. So I think what's happened with the Peach Bowl, it's in Atlanta. It's in SEC country
Where the players play.
where the players play. It's a sweet stadium, but I think mostly this is the SEC saying this is our bowl.
But isn't it more too even the past few years as Georgia being dominant because it is in Atlanta, right? So is it not more of less demographic bias to the SEC being dominant? But it's sort of as the conference got dominant, then don't their games get more relevance, right? Because it's home field, they got the choice. So they got more or less home field advantage. And if we're talking the NCAA, then I'm going to think that this is the way that they wanted to plan it. Right? So that's why they're getting the rub, because that's where, to Terry's point, but it's also, too, I think it's namely because of Georgia. In the past few years.
true.
Georgia's
And
the new
that's just-
Alabama.
That's just like if, let's say Notre Dame became Georgia, and then they had a bowl in Indianapolis, the Hoosier Bowl. And the Hoosier Bowl got into the Big Four, Big Five, whatever you want to call it. It'd be the same thing. I think that's what's happening with
Crack the
this.
top. Yes, the Peach Bowl cracked the top.
Yeah,
It's a matter of
I don't
time.
get it, man. It's still the Peach Bowl. WoodwardSports.com and chat thread. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, wasn't the Peach Bowl actually a Christmas Eve game? It may have been back in the day. I just remember being at that New Year's Eve game at 7:30, that whenever we went out to the bars for New Year's Eve, it was always on the TV up there, but nobody cared because, again, it was a 6-6 Miami against a 6-6 LSU,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's a game, like it's on. But even on New Year's Eve, I wasn't even watching that one because I was about the other activities on New Year's Eve. So whatever. But again, though, here we go, and the ratings will be down again, and they'll say, oh, Georgia, Ohio State. It's not a secret, everybody. People got shit to do on New Year's Eve. And the Michigan fans are going to gear up. They're going to watch the game. About 4 o'clock, right when that Michigan game starts, that's about as late as you can start on New Year's Eve and stay relevant. No one's going to watch Ohio State and Georgia. Nobody. And everyone will look at each other and wonder why.
Right. But by 4 o'clock, you don't even have your clothes on. You start getting dressed around, I don't know, 8 o'clock?
Yeah,
9
once the
o'clock?
Michigan game's over, then people will get into it. They'll have a nice base, and they'll be ready to go.
Watch the Michigan game and then put your tux on.
I actually have a lot to do on New Year's Eve, which kind of makes me mad.
Right.
I got to go set a court date. I got to go buy a bunch of stuff.
Oh, you guys missed it yesterday
yeah.
while you were gone. Spencer was out in the streets catching cases on his way in here.
I got pulled over. They got me. It was quota season. On my way home, I saw like 8 people pulled over. But they got me for the expired tabs. I don't even know. He pulled me over. He's like, "Hello, sir. Do you know what I'm pulling you over for?" I was like, "No, no, I don't. I'm a good driver." He was like, "Oh, you got expired tabs. Expired in December." I was like, "I didn't get anything in the mail." Like,
You probably did. You just ignored it.
probably.
You probably did. Woodwardsports.com chat
But you're taking care of it, Smitty.
Yeah, I'm taking care of it.
Taking responsibility.
Yep.
Machiavelli sucks to go. Neal, I hate the Big Ten rule. Wisconsin won last night. Yeah, big win against Oklahoma State, whose quarterback transferred. Did the coach even show up? We don't know. You can't. The horses got out of the barn as far as the bowl stuff goes. It did.
Hey, big game for Braylon Allen. I actually was like, Braylon Allen's playing. I was actually pretty shocked about that. But he's coming back to Wisconsin, right? Wasn't he in the portal and then he's coming back? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows?
Coastal Carolina's quarterback was in the portal and said, "Hey, I'm going to play. I'm going to ride off
That's
one more."
insane.
Then they started getting their ass kicked, and he's like, "I'm coming out of the game." like this.
Now I remember why I wanted out of here.
Yeah, exactly,
Not
dude.
playing with these scrubs.
It's so sad, man. It's just, I'm so sad about it. I'm sad the way that I'm just sad the way that the
we
bowl
have
season's shaking out.
A time when you can enter the portal, like a 1 month thing after the bowl season.
You can enter the portal at any moment.
I know, but shouldn't you just
That's so
limit
awesome.
it?
Well,
to a certain
are you going to
time?
limit when the coaches can leave then?
Well, the coaches.
The coaches.
Yes, do that too. I don't care.
It's free market, Terry.
You can't leave during the season. You're committed to that season. So finish it.
Stephen Baffy says the Peach Bowl's backed by Christian chicken money. Oh, well, that is true.
That's a good point.
Chick-fil-A's deep in
lot
those
of money.
streets.
That's a lot of.
That's
And they
Lord
they don't even have to be open on Sunday
Yeah.
to crush the market.
That is true.
You know what? On Monday, they make up all that money because everybody's at Chick-fil-A on Monday.
Everybody's always at Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you know that, Terry. Never drive by a Chick-fil-A and not see 3 cars in the.
Never.
Never.
They need to open an In-N-Out in Michigan. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, and you don't care how long
I
the
don't
line
care.
is.
It's so good.
Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. It's a series about fighting the stigma concerned with seeking help. If you're struggling, go to thesportsma.com. If someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Neal Ruhl here for Bedrock Detroit. And downtown Detroit's all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and indoor arcade. Plus, you can get drinks at the Lodge before or after games. I'll be going down to the Pistons game tonight. We might pull up on it, as a matter of fact. Just as a fan tonight, not working.
Of course.
Lions games, Lions games, Red Wings games, Pistons games, make it part of the pregame or postgame destination. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit. Check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com. On and poppin', Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Going to talk some Detroit Lions. Let's clean up these woodwardsports.com chat thread stuff. Wow. What's the better Pop-Tart? 50-50. Cinnamon, brown sugar, strawberry. Let's close it out on there.
Oh,
there we go.
That's fair.
Don't vote real quick
I was
either.
going to end the poll as soon as it went to cinnamon brown sugar.
No, I saw it right now. Sorry, Spenmo. Wow, we don't get too many exactly 50-50 polls on this show. Real quickly, too, about the food chatter. Detroit Dabber 313. Mid and out.
Ooh, not at all.
That's cap. It's just, give me a double-double with some animal fries and a chocolate shake. I can eat that every day.
The artist, in and out, is mid.
It's cap.
That's cap, bro.
It's cap.
All right, hey, what's not cap? Lions have to bounce back against the Bears this weekend. It's all on the line. You're hoping at this point, not only do you have to win, you need a lot of things to go right. I'm getting a weird feeling, though, about this Cleveland-Washington Commanders game. The point spread's doing some janky stuff. Cleveland was favored for a second. Like, it opened up, I think I saw 3.5. Cleveland was favored for a split second. Now Washington's back to being a 1.5. That's weird. And you guys know, we've been doing this long enough to know that's weird. But with all that being said, DMac, break it down, man. They got punched in the mouth last weekend.
Right, so there's a lot of things, right? Because when we talked about on Monday was the fact it was the effort and what they did to themselves, and it just didn't look like the Dan Campbell led Detroit Lions through wins or losses no matter what. They have something to prove that way. And what we're going to talk is, re-solidify their manhood. Now, it's a great case scenario. They've played well, especially of late at Ford Field. The place is going to be rocking, but the question is, and I think it's a glaring question, remember last time Justin Fields ran wild, 140-some yards or whatever like that? We haven't proven defensively that we can stop a mobile quarterback, right? So what had happened and what had got gashed, it's an imperative of what we have to stop and slow down. What happened last game is the fact that a running game, we never seen that. We don't expect that. We have to key in on the quarterback because that's where we have trouble. But the fact that Carolina ran it down our throats and embarrassed us. So the manhood angle, but also to the bounce back and everything that you're playing for, everything that you set yourself up for is right in front of you, right? So this is the perfect scenario. It's a great scenario because you're playing at home against Chicago. It's going to be a tough game. These guys come to play. We know that, right? But it's a great, as we say, to win this game, to play this game before going into Green Bay in the last week of the year. So you got to re-solidify that you could punch the other team in the mouth for 60 minutes.
T-Foss, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Rich Diana says, who are the Lions going to be this weekend? Are we back to that? Asking that question?
Yeah, and I understand it too. The Lions are going to be back to what they were prior to the Carolina game. In the NFL, I do believe in the up-down theory. When you get your ass kicked and all week people are talking about same old Lions, you're not that good, let's see where they go. You respond because you have pride. You don't hear this stuff anymore. I don't respect the Chicago Bears. When we talk about mid, that's what they are. Yeah, Justin Fields can run, blah, blah, blah. But bottom line is games like this are decided who plays better in the trenches, the Bears or the Lions. And Justin Fields is going to run. He's going to get his 100 yards or maybe 75, 80 yards or whatever. But I think the bottom line, the Lions know their manhood was taken away from them by Carolina. Now, what you do is it's time for you to get it back. It's time to show that you're a real man now, and that nobody's going to come into your house and kick your ass like that.
What about that, DMac? Because that's how I feel. And I asked Dwayne Casey this in the pregame before the Clippers game, and I said, we talk about coaching and everything that goes on and game planning, all that kind of stuff. When is the moment? Because there has to come a moment with players, right? Where you draw that line in the sand and you say, that's enough.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Oh, well, yeah, it is real, or the reality of what it is. Terry brings up what is the NFL known for, right? It's a one-score league,
right?
At the end of the day, and the up-down effect is real, as far as, and especially when you get punked on the road and you come home, right? So where do I expect, or where do good teams have these conversations? It would have been on the plane ride on the way home. Right? That can't be accepted. There's certain things in my career, like losing to New Jersey, standing in the net, Chris Stripper saying we can never let this happen again, right? You're going to have failures, and you're going to have big failures, and I'm not even talking about
embarrassing failures.
Right, embarrassing failures, but it's how you react to it. And if this team is the team that we think they are, on their way, then to Terry's point, this is a mid-Chicago Bears team. Yes, they have some talent. They play hard for Matt Eberflus, just like this Lions team's been known to play hard behind Dan Campbell. But throw that all out the window. You got to go out and more importantly, because of what happened last week, is your manhood has come out for 60 minutes. You got to make it tough. What do the Bears have to
play for? The Bears are playing just to piss the city of Detroit off. That's what they're playing for.
The Bears are doing what we usually do to the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
it comes down to the end of the season where we're trying to piss somebody else or ruin somebody else's
And the bottom line is you start out strong and you punch them in the face, and it's a good game, but then when they have something to play for at the end, they do what they need to do to win the game. Now, this is probably what's going to happen with the Bears. A lot of people... before the Carolina game, you look at the Chicago game, they're just going to kick their ass. Probably not. But I can see a game where Chicago's playing that game to piss off the whole city of Detroit. But at the bottom line, Detroit has a little bit more to play for, and they pull this game out.
Bears have lost 8 in a row. As a matter of fact, they currently have the number 2 draft pick, according to Tankathon.com.
So the idea is to make this team quit. Right? Make this team quit. You make it hard early on.
They don't, though. And that's the problem, right? And you guys say what you want about Justin Fields. You guys, I'm probably higher on Justin Fields than a lot of other people are, because he can make a play for you out of thin air. He can look awful, but then all of a sudden he gets a seam and he can change the complexion of everything. And it always seems that those types of players have an impact on the Lions more. And hey, we saw what we saw last weekend in terms of stopping the running game. And we saw what we saw in terms of what Justin Fields did to them on the ground in Chicago. Now, did the Lions win that football game? Yes, they did. It's just that will never not terrify me, D-Man.
So here's the saving grace. You have all the tape on them that you need as far as playing against you or playing throughout the league this season. That's the benefit at the end of the year. Most of the teams don't save, especially teams that lose 8 games in a row. They're not hiding plays, right? So now it comes down to execution. And to me, I like that a lot better. So I expect, like Terry said, Justin Fields not to run for 100. He's got to get his yards. He does. He is dynamic. He will extend plays and do that. But what I'm looking for is it to be done limitedly, on a limited basis, right? Because you have all the video, you have everything else. Now it comes down to execution, which we had none of defensively last game. Got to bounce back. So it's a big game, especially for this defense, to the little things. They got to get back to the little things. And I think, listening to Coach Campbell talking about they got away and guys not trusting each other, of doing your own job. I think that's what you heard a lot of. So that comes with youth. That comes with a young team, but I think that if with good coaching, you get the guys back on track, and it's a perfect storm, like Terry said, to the NFL's up-down theory.
It's interesting to me, Terry, because I'm seeing in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread some talk about Lions are indoors now, and Chicago's coming in, and we've seen what this offense is. Are the Lions getting that identity right now? Like they're a dome team. The offense doesn't travel.
I think they're getting that reputation with the Nimrods.
Okay.
They have gone outside and played well. I think this game with Carolina was so devastating to people that they're looking at, the Lions are not an outdoor team. They've won in New York twice. They've gone outdoors and played well and won. Well, maybe not played really well, but they won. So I think that's ridiculous. I think we overreact to games. We look at this one game, got their ass kicked, they can't go outside and win, blah, blah, blah.
I think there's some home cooking to it. I don't think it's to the extent that it's one way or the other, but I think that if you asked all of them, you're always going to be more comfortable in your home field, right? So that's why you got to take care of business at home.
Sure.
Who cares if they're homers?
You're more comfortable at home, but it doesn't mean you can't function somewhere else. I think now the Lions are getting the reputation from the Nimrods who don't understand. No, this is not a team that can't win outside. Yeah, they can. They have, and they'll do it again. So I just think, once again, we overreact to things that happen,
and who cares if you are?
What a wild ride.
Who cares if you are?
If
you're able to take care of your home at $750.
If your goal is to win championships, if your goal is to win a division, if your goal is to make the playoffs, if your goal is to win the playoff, you're gonna have to, and you have a city or a team in Detroit, even though you're playing indoors, at some point you got to go outdoors and kick ass.
No, I understand that, but I think you're putting too much on it because it's about getting. We're not even there yet. We're not even talking about playoffs. We can't, even be there. And right now, you want to be more comfortable. To your point, Terry, we've talked about it because what didn't we hear once they won a road game and they won another road game? We never heard that Dan Campbell can't win a road game or this team can't win a road game. Even after last week, it was like we got embarrassed and out physicaled and walked like a dog. It wasn't that we can't win on the road, right? I mean, there's different reasons. So I agree with you, Terry, but I think if you're going to take care of something, it's more imperative to take care of your home field. And I think they're more comfortable. They prove it. Offensively, the numbers show it. Whether maybe that's Ben Johnson's play calling, maybe it's because of the weather and the effects. It's just, you're playing in your living room, so things don't really change conditions change that much. But you're right, Terry, 100%. To win in any league, you have to be able to win on the road.
Right. And you have to be careful about talk, because all talk is talk.
It's talk.
Because early this season, here's what we heard. Dan Campbell cannot win on the road. Then he wins 3 on the road. Then it's like, okay, they can win on the road. They, it doesn't matter where the game is. They may not look the same, but they'll win. Then you have this debacle with Carolina. Then we're back to the Lions can't win on the road. Well, they can't win outdoors. But then they won outdoors before, and you weren't talking that mess a week ago, and that's why you can't overreact to games.
Hey, you're never talking any mess when you're talking about the haircut.
No, absolutely.
I know that.
Especially if you come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience, you can register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. $200,000. Yes, I said it. $200K towards your dream home. How do you do it? You get to a Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
All right, time to talk about Phillips. No, not former Ghanaian academic and Dr. Harold Hopwood Phillips, but Michael Phillips.
Hopwood.
Looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest.
Making shit up at this point.
is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the number one option for anyone. If you have real estate
Even if
needs,
he is, it's great.
call Michael. Call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011.
That one got a reaction from the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. That was Harold.
It was Hopwood. Right?
Hopwood.
Harry Hopwood.
Hopwood? Like hop?
Harry
Yes,
Hopwood.
Hopwood. Phillips. Huh? That's it?
But the Ghanaian, whatever, from Ghana? Is it? I get that right?
Yeah, that's what it says on his page.
The Ghanese.
That said he was born in Cape Coast. So
yeah, that is true. Died on May 2nd, 1999 at the age of 70. So rest in peace. It's real, man. He looks like somebody too that would be named Hopwood.
Is his middle name Hopwood?
Yes, Harold Hopwood Phillips. Son of William Reginald Phillips and Beatrice Phillips.
Oh, okay.
Husband, let me see, father of Brian Keith Phillips and son Harold R. Phillips. So there you go.
How is
that's for Spenmo and the crowd out there that thinks he's just making this shit up.
Yeah.
He's not. It's legitimate. It's out there. These people.
He does his homework.
No, yeah, like
he's got bad takes, but gosh darn it, he does his homework.
Yeah, like people think. You think he's just showing up here and just talking some ish and leaving? No, he's not easy. He's not doing any of that stuff. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a very fine gentleman. Easy is.
I'm sure he is.
He's happy to help the ball club.
Speaking of middle names, I found out what my doctor's middle name is.
What's that?
Buckfin.
What?
Is his last name Phillips? Because he'll be tomorrow.
No, it's not. And it's a she. It's Lisa Buckfin L.
Phillips. Dr. Lisa Buckfin Phillips.
My doctor's last name is Coochie. Dr. Coochie.
Not to be confused with Youngstown State power forward Michael Akuche.
Yeah, definitely not.
But it was spelled Akuche.
No.
But hey, here we are, everybody. All right, that's enough of that. Right. There is kind of a side thing brewing here, and I know people around the network have talked about it. I have not had the chance to talk about it, but I do want to talk about it with all of you. This Jamison Williams thing is starting to gain a lot of traction, and people are clamoring for more involvement in the offense. What do you make of this, Terry? What do you make of? And look, I know it's easy button to do the whole social media thing, but what do you make of Jamison Williams liking tweets that say, "Get Jamison Williams the ball more"? What's your take on this, Terry?
My take on this: Jamison Williams is a little bit immature. He wants to do more, but his time is not now. Jamison Williams has not had a training camp. For most of the football season, he was carrying around the football, looking at other people. He's not ready. And I know he's young and he feels he can do more, and at some point he will, but this is a lost season for him. I think
that's a little strong, T-Foss.
Yeah,
he's got a 40-yard touchdown catch. I think that's a little strong.
What else has he done? Yeah, he's still capable of doing things, but I think it goes back to Dan Campbell. His philosophy is bringing athletes along slowly, or not pushing them as much as other coaches would. For instance, we talk about the injured list or guys sitting out Wednesday practices. I think Dan Campbell's a guy that I'm going to baby my athletes a little bit more, and the payoff in the long run is going to be better. And this sounds like the same thing. Jamison Williams probably could get more targets. He could probably do more. But I think, and I'm talking about Dan Campbell, thinks this is not good for his long-term health. We got other guys who can contribute now. Jamison Williams needs to focus on next season when we're just going to let him explode.
But isn't what we get out of him a bonus? Right? So however they figure it out, because I don't think right now, like to Terry's point, they can't focus on making him part of the game plan. He's got to sort of be a caveat to it, right? So if yes, I agree. I'd like to see him touch the ball a few times, but maybe he's not ready. If I look back to the last game, maybe it was a decision because it was so cold and the field position was frozen field. Well, why are you going to put them in that right position? To Terry's point, I think that that they are babying him, for a lack of a better word, but why wouldn't you? Right? So maybe there's tweaks here, or maybe he's not 100%. I think that the transparency and the frustration is he wants to be out there. He can make a factor, but I don't think that right now he's even to the 100% up to speed. So when he is, maybe that changes this game. Maybe they get him in again for another 40-yard touchdown or whatever, but right now he's just a caveat, right? He needs the full season. There's reasons why. This team needs a focus in the last 2 games of what got them there, and he hasn't been the one that got there. But if you can put him in for a play or two and let him make a big play, that's a caveat. If not, I'm looking to make sure he's 100%, plays 18 games next year.
How much of it is up to Jamison Williams? Because we see this with high draft picks, big-time guys. A lot of times it is up to them, but at this point, though, Terry,
too young. No, it's not. It's not him at all.
Right, but at this point in time, right now, it does see as. And look, there's talk. You know, is he 100% healthy right now? That's a lot of the discussion. And if that is the case, and here's where we have to fight ourselves, Terry. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody. He's a shiny toy. He's the radio controlled car that you got for Christmas, and you want to go out there with it right now, even though the batteries aren't fully charged yet. That's what it is, and I have to fight myself with it too, because this isn't just he can help us, but we just want to bring him along. If he's in a position to help, they're going to have him help. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of targets and passes and all that kind of thing, because. And good fella here in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says he has 1 catch, Neal. Yes, but it was impactful. And he's one of those unique players in the NFL, I think, where his presence out there, you're aware of him, where he is on the field, just based on the speed factor. Yeah, you have to be, Terry, right?
You do, but here's what he hasn't had. He hasn't had an off season where he's just catching passes from Jared Goff.
That's fair.
He hasn't gone to California, gone to Florida, wherever the hell they go, and just work on stuff. I mean, receivers and quarterbacks have a weird relationship. A lot of times we look at passes and like, where is he passing to? And all of a sudden the receiver's there catching the ball. That's because they worked on that during the offseason. Weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months. He doesn't have that, and he's never going to get that this season. And once again, you have a coach, Dan Campbell, where I suspect he wants to bring players along slowly, or he's cautious as far as bringing them along. So you factor those 2 things in, and Jamison Williams is not going to get what he wants this season. But, you know, obviously it's out of his hands, but I bet you Jamison Williams, you know, 21, 22 years old, whatever.
He thinks he's ready to roll.
Those guys, indestructible. I could go out, catch 10 passes for 200 yards, and think nothing of it. That's his mentality.
Do you not trust the fact that he's being coached by former players too? Like Antoine Randall is the receivers coach, so I mean that's a guy that did it, that knows what it takes to do it in this league. I think that it's the youth, right? I think he wants to be out there. That's not a question. I think it's just the team. He's not right there yet, and they don't want to do something, like you said, and going too quickly. Like he said, running the remote control without the batteries fully charged, right? That's the worst thing that can happen. So, like you said, he's a caveat right now. He's a shiny piece, which means we could still use him. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a deep shot to him, and then maybe a wide receiver screen or an end around, a couple plays a game if he is that healthy and if he is ready. But if not, I think exactly what Terry said. You got to develop that camaraderie. You look at, you know, I saw in the chat thread about Calvin and Matt Stafford back in the day going to Texas, coming back real sharp. You look at the rapport Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Jared Goff have. That's because they worked at it. So I'm confident that they can get there, but it's just not right now. It's going to take an off season.
Here's something else we don't know. Where is he in relationship to knowing the playbook? Maybe he's behind a little bit, or behind where coaches want him to be, and they don't trust targeting him more.
I just find that funny. How hard is it to run a go route with your speed, right? Like how many plays does Tyreek Hill have to remember? Like with that speed, right? It's always something blowing guys away.
It's more sophisticated than that. There's things there's.
No, I get it. But he could also, here's the one thing too, which is taken away, is having him out there is the threat of the deep threat, which opens other guys up too. So I just think that we're on it as far as it's the camaraderie.
And there's a faction too, like Alicia says, we don't need Jamo to get hurt again, and there is that.
And there
too.
could be something we don't know about.
I think that field last week, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
That field last week was literally rock hard, because all around the league they have heated field systems, except in Miami, in Tampa, in Carolina, and Arizona. You know, because it's never this cold. It was the coldest game in the history of the Carolina Panthers franchise. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't that cold.
It was, but it was enough. It was cold enough to freeze the field without a heating unit.
Sure.
Lambeau Field is heated.
All right.
The frozen tundra.
Yeah, is not frozen. There's a heating system.
I don't want to get Mr. Raxter involved in this, but I will.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't do the goal routes because he's going to be underthrown by Jared Goff.
Facts.
Here we go.
There you go, Terry.
We almost made it to the commercial break, and you had to go and do that. Earlier, a couple minutes ago, somebody in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread said, I need a cranberry citron right now. Well, hey, it's the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, right? They've combined all three of their delicious flavors into a 6-pack sampler box, right? Ha, ha, ha. You can try the great-tasting Cranberry, classic and sugar-free, all-in-one Red Wings theme package. And you can get the limited edition Citron Red Wings 6-pack sampler. Just go to citronworld.com/Red Wings. You know what? Why wait? Go to citronworld.com/Red Wings. Citron, baby. Citron life.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. Our own Ryan Ermanni is down 15 pounds with Custom Health. I mean, look at that. That's probably more antibiotic steroids. Well, no, it probably is to Custom Health. Now, we're joking, but he is on his journey right now and down 15 pounds with the help of Custom Health Centers. You can do it too. Custom Health Centers, they've helped over 20,000 people with their weight loss goals. They've helped former Detroit Lion Eddie Murray, Pistons bad boy Rick Mahorn, worked with the Monday night, down over 50 pounds and looking good and feeling good. He's a sharp dresser too, man. Rick Mahorn
he's
is.
got cute kids.
Yeah,
cute little threads.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. Hey, and they fit better because he's down over 50 pounds. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason at Custom Health, 844-789-8446. Again, 844-789-THIN. It's Custom Health Centers. Yeah. Back on it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Alicia says, wait, it's 2 for $4. Better double up. Yeah, you know. You guys know.
Why wait? Drink it warm.
Absolutely, man. Crack it as you're walking out of the story. Look, we're talking a lot of football, but it is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday.
That means it's time.
AW dive.
5-4 fighting. Let's talk some hockey, Darren McCarty.
Yeah, let's talk some hockey. 5 for fighting here. We're back in it. Couple of things that I wanted to do. Did we get that graphic, Spenny? Yeah. So the big conversation is we're going to take a look, and over the next few weeks, right now I want to, we're going to focus in on Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond. I wanted, what's the date today? 28th. So look for, in a few weeks, Michael Gentry and I are actually going to put together a weekly Saturday hour hockey show to cover, do some interview people, do some stuff, and cover a little bit more. But these are some of the things that maybe we will cover. I'm going to start this week because a lot of the conversation is the progression, or is there a regression in our two young stars, Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond. So I want to take this time to break them down. I took the 32-game comparison between last season and this season, where you can see with Lucas Raymond, this year he's got 18 points. Last year he had 28 points, so down 10 points. The goals are relatively the same. You look at the power play assists. What does this come down to? Comes down to what you can't see, which is a glaring problem. When it comes to Lucas Raymond, it's the 5-on-5, and it's a plus-minus. I believe it's -9, but in his career it's -40. So it's something that needs to be improved on, right? And that is the team going. What you want to look here, though, is the opportunities, and the goals aren't that far off. What they're not getting it done is they were getting it done at a better clip last year. So he's not that far off to what he was last year. As a rookie, I don't want people to panic. It's something to look forward to watch how his plus-minus is going, because as his plus-minus goes, those points should go up.
And I'll actually, and look, it's interesting we brought this up today, because the Raymond thing was concerning me a little bit. But as you know, as we sit now and we take it all in, you provide that information, it makes me feel a little bit better. And I can, I think to some degree, I can explain the power play thing. There are more adults in the room now. There are more power play adults in the room, so the usage isn't there. And that's why I'm not as concerned about plus-minus either with him, because they were awful. They were awful last year as a team. So I can explain some of that away. Was I mildly concerned? Yeah, I'll be fair. I was mildly concerned about Raymond. But those numbers, as we look at it in totality, I feel better about it. And like I said, T-Foss, the usage on the power play isn't there, so you're not going to clip those power play assists. You're just not.
That's true, but eyeball, Lucas Raymond just looked a little bit off this year. He didn't look as comfortable on the ice as he did a year ago, so that's throwing all the numbers out. So I do have a minor concern because of that. Just look at the eyeball test. So, I am concerned just a little bit, but it's 32 games. Let's do this at 64 games.
Yeah,
we will.
Exactly, and you got 50 games left, and you see that there's still to finish strong. So I guess it's like take your hand.
You made me feel better.
Take your hand if you were like this with the panic button and just like put it back in your pocket. Like that's what I would do. I mean, it's just a strong. It's better than maybe you thought it was, and you can explain it. Yep. It doesn't. The right and wrong's not there. It's the why. More adults in the room. Now let's look at our boy Mo Sider, Calder Trophy winner. Now, if you look at the difference and look at the points, right? Look at how it is, and if you look at sort of the difference, the big glaring difference, right? You notice plus minus, right? Maybe the points, which is wrong because it should have been 21 and 12. But it's the plus minus. And it's the 71 hits comparable to the 40. Do you know why this is? Do you know what this tells you right there?
It tells me the role change.
You know exactly what it is.
The role change.
Instead of being handled with kick gloves, more so on the Jamison Williams and playing the second, third, fourth most minutes, playing that power play, getting that confidence into now he is your horse. He is the guy that's out there. He's the guy that's your end-all, be-all. I've compared him to your Victor Hedman. He will be the guy. So this is learning curve. Watch these numbers right here, because I expect out of Moritz Seider in these next 32 games, Terry, as we get, or even the next 20, 25 games, is to improve on that plus minus as he's figuring out this role. Now, the points should be 21, so they're not that far off. A lot of the things is to the power play not clicking. You know, he's got a couple goals, but the plus minus because you're playing big minutes against the top people in the league. So he's adding something to his tool.
What about this, though, DMac? Let me tell you this. And as we talked about Raymond, and I'm curious to get T-Foss's thoughts as well. If you're chopping it down to just these two, and you're going to go all sports talk on it and say, who are you more concerned about, 2-4-8? I am more concerned about Mo Seider doing this drill than I am about Lucas Raymond now. To whereas before we did this, it was the inverse. I was a little more concerned about Raymond than Seider. Now, I will say, again, that plays to, the points thing plays to, there are more options now. You know what I'm saying? I expected this.
But do you also know, right, when you're talking about the experiments, what is the experiment at least for the first 25, 27 games, right? And the fact that they are playing the games. He is healthy, right? With Sherratt, we thought that was a perfect pairing. It might not be. You see how they're moving different guys with him, whether it's Wallman on the first unit or whatever like this. They're looking to solidify that. I'm not worried about him. Right, I'm not worried about him because even as bad as it or whatever it is, the responsibility that was thrown on his plate this year as you're the guy moving forward in his second year is unfathomable for that defenseman. The only other guy, right, and he's not Cale Makar, right, but it's look at the development of the Victor Hedmans. He didn't get it right off the bat.
Yeah.
He had to develop into it.
What about you, T-Foss? Where you stand on that?
I could be wrong on this, but I just do not worry about Mo Seider. I see a guy that had more on his plate, and when you are the front guy, there's going to be more opportunities for things to go wrong. There's going to be more opportunities for the opponent to be firing pucks at you because now you're not insulated. You're like the guy now. And so the Wings are not a complete product. They don't have depth at defense. So now it's like, Mo, you're not just our shiny piece now. You're the piece. And so there's more opportunities for things to go wrong. But I still think he's holding
and
his
there's something to do with Neal trying to do too much and figuring out how to do what you need to do and not overly do it. Here,
but if he doesn't do it, who's going to do it?
No, but I understand that. But it's him and his maturity to understand that he's got to figure out how to get them to do it too. He can't be the only one because then it's not going to work. Real quick. The impact on Verona back in the lineup. Do you expect an immediate impact or
that's a long time out, man. He's been out a long time, and I think that when you look at this team and the struggles to score again, right? That's what we're seeing. When it's not going well, they're struggling to score. Now, there's a lot of that too, where when a certain goalie would start games, you'd be down 4-0 before you even sat down and had your first beer. But through all of that, it's just for me. I worry about us expecting too much too soon. Look, man, this is a personal thing. This is like a personal life issue, this is real life shit right now that he's dealing with. So, for me, whatever you get from him is a bonus. Until he gets right.
Is he more of the Jameson Williams to coming back?
I mean, there are similarities. There are similarities.
As far as a bonus, because I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out his first game and scores. He's that talented, but it should take time to get back in.
Well, he could score the first game and then not score the next 8 or something like that. But I say give him until February. And I know we're impatient. This is an impatient society, but he's coming back from some pretty heavy stuff. He's been out of the lineup. He's probably trying to get reacclimated with his teammates on the ice, and I'm sure they're working with him on making sure that he's a part of the team off the ice. But now you still got to develop that chemistry on it, and it's going to take a while.
Yeah, let's pick up the 3rd, 4th, and 5th minutes. when we come back.
All right,
You know,
well,
I know we got deep.
It doesn't matter because Jacob Veron is like guardian alarm.
Right.
Personal business, on the ice, off the ice, whatever. Protect you. That's what guardian alarm does. If you want to be part of the guardian alarm Woodward Sports family, you can. Give them a call today. 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Now, how many straight days of flannel protection? We added 7 new flannels this Christmas season.
185.
185 straight days of flannel protection from Flannel Sam. Guardian Alarm can protect you too, but you got to call them. 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the end zone, Justin Fields.
Stay out, Justin Fields.
Stay out, Justin Fields. Guardian Alarm. Your local security experts. Tell them. Big D Energy. We sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Neal Ruhl here for the Monroe Street Midway Minute. You know what's going on by now. We've been telling you about it, but get downtown. And the bottom line is this, guys. It's a great environment. It's winter festive. Let's say it like that. And you know what? Even for me, who hates winter with the passion of 1,000 suns, that you never see the sun in wintertime. Can't stand the wintertime. I'm all about the Monroe Street Midway, though. We're popping down there this week, as a matter of fact. I love it. It is an excuse to get outside in the wintertime, and it's something that we can't do a lot here. Look, Santa Claus, his time has passed. He's gone now, but the Monroe Street Midway is still bumping. The Arctic Slide, the Puck Putt, bring the kids down there. And oh, by the way, for guys like Terry Foster, you can have drinks at the lodge, right, T?
Oh, yeah.
You've done
that
it
before.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been. Tell me about it.
It's good. It's cozy. It's nice. They got little games you can play, Jenga, and then you get your little drink and sit down. And you know what? You don't have to sit on a stool. You don't have to sit on the floor. You can sit on a nice leather couch.
And it's warm.
It's warm. Oh, it's toasty. It's more
Toasty.
warm.
And then shortly after that, T. Foster gets toasty as well. Everybody wins down.
And take your coat off.
At the Monroe Street Midway. Get downtown all winter long. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're getting deep in the puck. That's absolutely the case here. Darren McCarty's 5 for Fighting rolls on a bonus segment of the 5 for Fighting, DMac.
Yeah, a couple big things I think bring to your attention. And for me, it goes to show you sometimes we use sports to show our age. Alexander Ovechkin passed Gordie Howe to move into number 2 in the all-time goal-scoring race. He is now 91 behind Wayne Gretzky, I believe, or 92.
Is he going to get there?
I believe he will. Love the game.
That dude, look when he scored. T-Foss, look when he scores goals now, even at his age.
He's still got, look at what he's got. He's still got 50 games left,
yeah.
Right? He stays healthy, right? So he's got, 25 more goals this year in him, right? It's going to be 2.5 seasons, I believe, that we'll be doing this countdown. Probably the same season that we expect the Wings to go to the conference finals.
And he loves scoring goals, man, still.
He does. Still got that one-timer rolling. So He doesn't have to move like he did before. Teammates, I think, are doing a better job of setting him up.
But he does move, Terry. You watch him out there. He still throws his weight around. He's still in the middle of everything else, and that shot is still as lethal as anything else. I mean, to me, I never would have expected that or thought that anybody would come close to Gordie Howe, let alone ask me, is anybody going to break Wayne Gretzky's record, right? Which is one of the records that you never thought would be broken, but it looks like it will be, which leads me to my number 5. The Detroit Red Wings are in Pittsburgh tonight. Looking at this Pittsburgh Penguins team, I mean, it blows me away. Why? Because I relate this to the Cal Ripken Jr. consecutive game streak, which can we all agree is probably the one that
in this era of injury management, no one's getting
going to break that. Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang are playing their 18th season together as teammates. Does that blow you away as much as it blows me away?
Let me ask you this.
There's 3 of them.
Let me ask you this. You played against these guys for Stanley Cup.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you, like sitting here at the desk right now.
It blows me away. Right? And I wanted to bring this when I saw when Malcolm resigned, and I went, oh my gosh. Because to me, like, am I far off to say like that might even be less attainable than the Cal Ripken consecutive?
Because it's 3
guys.
There's so many factors. One, you got to be good for 18 seasons.
You got to play for 18 years.
You got to play for 18 seasons, and then you can't have some young buck that comes along and says, "This is my team." That kind of comes in and disrupts everything. So this is a huge.
I mean, hats off. I mean, for whatever the reason, but like that to me. Boom, blew me away.
Let me ask you guys this question. And I know that Crosby here locally, we know that Crosby's a trigger word, right? Like you're programmed to hate him, and that's it. And
I
Ovechkin,
don't think it's much.
I do.
Well, it used to be Sidney, but he's grown up.
WoodwardSports.com chat follow right now. Do you still hate Sidney Crosby?
Yes.
Guaranteed 90%. But we'll let the people. Let's see if time has healed some of the wounds.
He's grown. Hey, out of anybody that has grown up, that has shooken the whiner stigma, and gosh darn it, listen. For a top star, he gets abused as much as any top star, and that's hard to watch sometimes. But you look at, he's in his 18th season, and he's still right up there in the scoring league. Like, he's not missing a beat.
No,
and Sidney Crosby, right? He's a Derek Jeter of hockey, is he not?
He is.
I respect him as a player,
and arguably better. Right, but never in trouble, never bad word, always does it the right way.
That's what's good for the game.
Wait, Flannel, what was that?
Did you say Sidney Crosby's Sidney Crosby is 10 times better of a hockey player than Derek Jeter was a baseball player.
I'm making a comparison. I agree with you. I'm making a comparison to the game of their sport, to baseball, by no controversy, no, nothing. So in that way.
No, I get it. I just think the hate for Sidney Crosby sometimes clouds people's judgment. He's the second best hockey player of this generation after Alexander Ovechkin. I don't hate him anymore just because I recognize greatness. I see how he's still great in year 18.
I don't know, what generation is he a part of technically? Because like
the OV. I think of like Ovechkin, 05, Patrick Kane.
Like what is the generation? Yeah, it's the OV, the Stamkos,
Patrick Kane, right? Taves, all those
Taves, Kane, the Chicago or the LA guys, all through that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is Ovechkin and Crosby, do they get their rightful place in the lore of hockey? Because I feel as though
it's like Kevin Durant, LeBron James.
Yeah, like they are historically great. Like what Ovechkin is doing, I still don't think people realize it.
No.
And I thought they would. Like when he passes Gordie Howe, I thought people around here would be like, damn. But I mean, he's going to pass Wayne Gretzky in goals probably.
No, he's definitely getting overshadowed. Because Wayne Gretzky, when he was rolling, that's all you heard about.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky. And even when he was in Edmonton. Well, you can say, well, no, he wasn't in a high-profile city. Neither was Gretzky. He was in Edmonton, and they're like, this dude is so good, we got to move him to LA. So, but Ovechkin is kind of like, he just scores and you don't hear anything.
And Detroit Dabber 313, the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, yes, Neal, the golden goal and the cups. Crosby gets his flowers already. I still don't think that people around here realize that may be like the greatest year of hockey that somebody's ever had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a good one. It's the same one as, what was it, 02, when our guys won the gold and silver, Shanny and Stevie, and then Holly and Chelly.
Yeah, but Crosby won a Game 7 on the road to win the cup, and then got the game-winning goal in the gold medal game for Team Canada. That's a hell of a 10 months.
When you're the second greatest of your generation, you're supposed to do stuff like that.
What about you, DMac? I know in the locker room he does, like across NHL locker rooms.
Oh, yeah. No. See, yes.
The players know, right?
Players know, right? Like, players enamored by both. Right, no, and the talk more in the locker room would be the maturity that Sidney Crosby's done and been the face of the league. You'd be proud of. Ovechkin, he's that good as he wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just I still think they're slept on, like in the grand scheme of things. I believe that Ovechkin and Crosby are generationally great. Generationally great.
Yeah, there's no question about that, but do we acknowledge that?
Why?
I don't know why we don't. Maybe it's a different time.
Hey, I wanted to back up about Ovechkin. You played against him.
Yeah. Real deal. Yeah, the real deal.
How fast is he?
Yeah, as fast, like all that stuff, especially back then in like the late 2000s. Yeah, I mean different beast. Right, everything you want to be, because it was the shot that
how tough is he with the puck? I think that gets underrated.
Oh yeah, like
he lights dudes up.
Yeah,
guys, he's a bull.
That's why I always liked Ovi more than Crosby. Crosby had the hands, and obviously, like probably one of the most skilled hockey players of all time. But Ovi would snipe 4 on you, and then he'd lay your biggest dude out in the middle of the ice. So that's why I loved Ovi.
And then he'd go to the Stanley Cup parade.
Yeah.
And go on a 5-day bender.
Legend. Yes. Legend. Him in the fountain or whatever. Dude, everything that he did, God bless the kid, dude, because he deserved it. And he showed you how much it meant to him. Right? He's just a great dude.
DMac, to wrap up the hockey talk real quick, what about this from Paul Thomas? I don't like that they took Lalonde instead of waiting for John Cooper. We got the Josh McDaniels instead of the Bill Belichick.
Blow it out your nose.
All right, fair enough.
Wrong. You were never getting Cooper. Whatever like this, Lalonde, it's the same sort of system, cheaper price to Neal's salary, to whatever.
Well, I don't care about the coach's
salaries. And you got everything that you needed. He is the right guy. And you know what? That's like, isn't that ridiculous? 32 games in to say that you'll give the Lions coach how long with doing some things that are way worse. So I mean, like, step back, bud.
Hey,
hashtag why is he playing 1919? That's all you need to know.
Steve, why?
Steve, why? What's playing?
1919.
Steve, why's man?
It's not time for that. It's not time for that yet, guys. We're not. I get it. You want it to be, but it's not that easy.
No, let me tell you about Big Boy.
Tell me about Big Boy.
Steve, man. Wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf, right, Spenny?
Oh, yeah.
Smash fest.
Give me the loaf.
Cajun chicken Alfredo. How about breakfast? You see them right there on your screen. The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. You get the best deals. They beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. They got the top-of-the-line beauty lotions as well. Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Spencer Raxter's favorite, Swedish Beauty.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. You know how we saw the sun today for about 30 minutes? Think about that. Yeah, it's out there for about 30 minutes.
Nice.
Think about that. You want more vitamin D? Chili Peppers Tanning. That is the play. 27 locations. More on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Yay, yay. Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. And, we just wrapped up the 5 for Fighting with DMac. I like that. Nice little break there midweek. We get to, get some hockey talk in there.
And we don't fight.
Right. Which, ironically enough, goes anti to the name of it, the 5 for Fighting. Do have to slide this one. Anytime you put this in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, I'm going to get to it. XYYX, 91 to the rafters. Don't worry, I've never forgotten. I am on.
That's honestly...
It's absurd.
What is going on?
It's absurd. I won't put DMac on the spot about it.
No,
I'll just speak my piece.
I'm waiting. I'll be there.
Like 91 to the rafters.
He's got to be able to get out of the country first, though, right? Can we agree?
Yeah,
So can we put our hatred on hold for a minute? Like, can we put our sizzle on hold until we know that it could be done?
Yeah, but I think even in turbulent,
even in today's time,
turbulent international times,
how you gonna be pissed at him?
Yeah.
If you want, right. If where there's a will, there's a way.
Even in turbulent international times, 91 and the greatness that is Sergei Fedorov supersedes even international strife.
91 to the rafters, Ozzy to the Hall of Fame.
Like it's time to cut the shit.
Both got to happen. Both got to happen.
Dude won 400 games, man. Like it's not even Chris
3
Osgood.
cups. Backstop too.
Yeah. Chris Osgood has reached Lou Whitaker Hall of Fame status to me.
It's ridiculous.
Like it's not even a case. It's just common sense.
He's got better stats than Lou Whitaker to get 400 games. That's
you know what? Yeah.
3 cups. 2 litty backstop. Give me a break. Hey, that's whatever. What are we waiting
on?
People that'll die on the retired 91. So I'm the one I'm more heated is the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and
because he's been out long enough.
XYYX Ozzy is borderline. How is he borderline?
Can I ask? I had a question. I didn't want to as speaking about greatness, right? Because am I right in saying what Luka Dončić did last night? I just wanted you basketball heads. 60 points, 20 rebounds. I mean,
one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my entire life.
So can you tell me, Terry, like what is that? Like, can you translate that to me?
Let me see. Let me translate that into English. Ridiculous. How about that?
It's absurd.
Ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It has never been done before in the history of the NBA. Not Wilt, not Magic, not Michael, not Kareem. None of them never have done before. 60 points, 20 plus rebounds, 10 plus assists, and he only hit 2 3-pointers. That doesn't happen in today's NBA.
It's not like he went on an 11 for 13 bender.
No,
you know.
And it was. I think he only had like 12 or 13 free throw made. Like the dude was just going absolutely crazy. Luka Dončić, the guy is special. One of the best NBA players I've seen in a very long time, and he's only 23 years old.
He's special. I see some nights where you could tell he doesn't want to play that night, but last night he was all in. But Luka's the guy that takes games off. He doesn't care about. But when he's rolling, he's such a big body that people bounce off of him. And he can get off any shot he wants.
Mark Cuban should do anything he could possibly can to get another superstar.
Oh, they signed him to a supermax early.
Whatever it is, if it's Trae Young, who's been talked about wanting to leave Atlanta, whoever it is, Mark Cuban needs to get another superstar to pair with Luka Dončić because he is a top 3 player in the NBA right now, and he's 23 years old.
How about that stat Rake just threw in there? The Mavs were also the first team to win after being down 9 points with 35 seconds left. It was 0 for 13,844. Before that,
takes
like
away from
Neal,
that Pistons loss.
you do the basketball game is 9 points in 35 seconds. Ridiculous, right?
Oh yeah,
like because you got to get it back. Like
That's
what did they
T-Mac
miss?
stuff.
Not foul, steal.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch the end of the game?
Yeah, it was just Luka doing what he does, and the Knicks just not capitalizing on anything, turning the ball over, and Luka just went crazy.
To give it a local feel, Terry, that's like when Isaiah at Joe Louis Arena against the Knicks in the playoffs. Just scored 11 points in the last 30 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah, that all the weather balloons would have to be right for that to happen. You have to be hot, but the other team has to be on knucklehead mode for you to do that, because you shouldn't have that many opportunities to win the game in the last 30 seconds.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and I lost it. I forgot who said. Oh, Paul Thomas. Luka and Joker are way, way, way underrated, and they are. And yes, I know Jokic has won 2 MVPs.
Back-to-back MVP. I don't know if he's underrated.
Joker be underrated when he's winning MVPs.
Because people don't understand the unicorn that he is.
It really is pretty wild.
He's a center that runs the offense, Terry. He's a center that's the main distributor.
I think that's been well established, and that's what people talk about.
No, they don't. They don't give it. Terry, you will never see this again.
That's 2 back-to-back MVPs, though. It's getting to the point where almost
This has never been seen in the history of basketball.
Honor you can give somebody. You're the MVP of the league this year.
Twice.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
But hey, I was told Anthony Davis is the guy.
That is true.
He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But no, fine.
Which street outfit will he wear? I love that.
When you guys are talking about all of this, then we come to hockey talk and whatever. The question is, are we in a sport, like, do we appreciate the athletes in the sports games? No. Because the conversations we're having.
What do we do? We call them soft.
The Dončić, the Joker, and stuff like this. There's stuff going on around us that hasn't been done before. You look to baseball. You look at Shohei Ohtani. You look at
he's way underrated.
Yeah, but you look at to play both sides of the ball and be as dominant doing both. Like, I mean, is it happening right now that we just are immune to it now? Like we just expect these sort of things?
Yes.
But there really is there not? There's some unbelievable sporting things going on.
We don't expect them, but greatness doesn't shock us anymore.
Yeah.
We don't go like, whoa, did you see that? Like Ohtani. He's in the category of you can win MVP every year.
Yes.
He's still going to be underrated.
Right.
We haven't seen that either since Babe Ruth.
That's what I'm saying. We see a guy in hockey breaking that 800 goal
even I
record
saw
for
Babe
years.
Ruth do it.
Maz didn't even see it. Babe Ruth's a joke. I don't count it.
How's even before Maz?
Ohtani's the first of his kind.
Like it's crazy. And what do we say? Oh, they're soft. They're babies. They make too much money. It's wild. We are living in a wild time of sports right now.
Insane. And it's like the old guard. Arguably the best player in the history of the NBA. Say what you want about him. When he finishes his career, he's going to be number 1 in points, top 5 in rebounds, assists, number 1 in every single playoff category. Like LeBron James is still doing this at 20 years old, and then you've got this new era of superstars like Jokic and Luka and Tatum and all of the Wemby waiting in the wings to be the next freak of nature. I love the NBA so much.
Terry, what about this? I would argue the top 3 basketball players in the world are not Americans.
Facts.
Right now?
100%.
Right now.
100%.
Joker, Giannis, Dončić, whatever order you want to put them in.
Yeah.
They're the 3 best players in the world.
100%.
Yep. Bam. Not going to argue with you.
You can't.
The old heads are getting old. Young bucks are not from, and if Wemby is what he's projected to be, he'll be a top 5 player in 3 years.
And I saw this here, and Man, I'm sad that I missed it. Oh, here it is. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, and who does ESPN spend their whole show about? A losing record LeBron James still. But that's not ESPN's fault.
No.
That's your fault. Because do a show about LeBron, do a show about Jokic and Dončić. Which one's going to get more ratings?
LeBron.
So whose fault is that? I always laugh how the media...
That is our fault. Because I'll admit, if Jokic is on or LeBron is on, I'm watching LeBron. Still.
Bam. To quote a good friend of mine.
Right.
Bam. But DMac, that's our fault. And I'd say our as a society.
Right.
You know what I'm
it is.
saying?
And I think, because why have we gone down to not appreciate, I guess, some of the talents around us? Because everything's so watered down and it's so easily accessible. And half people don't watch games live anyways. They watch it on replay or on so they can't get the gist of watching a guy. When we were growing up, right, 247, 50, whatever, this was on. You had to watch this, and then you had to figure out who you liked off of that. And if you're lucky, right, because a lot of times your home team stunk a little bit and you didn't get to cheer, but nationally they would tell you who to cheer for, right? Now it's just... It's the Wild West.
We don't appreciate the unspectacular. For instance, Magic Johnson was a great passer, but we paid attention because he'd be doing the dooty-dooty-doots thing.
No look.
Jokic does the quality skip pass.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's crazy.
That we don't appreciate. But it's just a skip pass. So what?
Three-quarter court skip pass.
Yeah.
Right.
It's incredible. Here, you guys want me to make Spencer Raxter's head explode? Anybody want to see that before we go to the break?
I want to see it, please.
You want to see it, right? All right. Spencer, I'll give this one to you here. Goodfella says, Chauncey Billups was underrated. Joker is not even close to being that.
Oh, God.
Dude, what the... How many MVPs does Chauncey Billups have, huh? How much has Chauncey Billups revolutionized the basketball game as we know it?
Well, they're comparable because they both run.
Right.
They run the ball at the court. Just one from the 1 and one from the 5.
What's Chauncey's greatest quote? If it ain't rough, it ain't right.
Was he being serious?
He better not be serious, or I'm going
It's
to find
on
out
there.
where he lives.
Because there are... I have a problem with a certain faction of Detroit sports fans who way overvalue their own guys. Chauncey, and I like Chauncey
we know.
Billups. Yeah.
We know you do.
Yeah, no. I love Chauncey Billups. I think he was the most valuable player on those going to work Pistons teams, but he's not in Jokic's league. Nikola Jokic has the opportunity to be a top 10 NBA player of all time when it's all said and done.
Nikola Jokic has the opportunity to be the greatest big man in the history of the NBA, and he's already top 5.
Oh, come on, Spenny.
No,
it's not.
He's already top 5.
He's got to get some titles. He's got to get at least one.
That's fair.
Because Shaq...
Chauncey Billups was a guy teams didn't want. Boston didn't want him. He had to come here, and he had to go into Larry Brown's wacky little factory for a year to reinvent himself.
I'm sorry I did that to you, Spenmo.
It's okay.
I can't. Sometimes I can't
No,
resist.
you're not. No, you're not.
I'm not. No, you're right. I'm not.
But
Hey,
it was so ridiculous that it didn't even it was like, oh, really?
I saw his DEF CON going up, and then he gathered himself.
I like
and-
how he apologizes for things he's not sorry for.
Well, Terry, I'm just trying to be a fine gentleman.
All right.
I make mistakes like
Keep
anybody
working it.
else.
No, that's not a mistake. That's calculated.
No, I'll keep working to be better, Terry.
Okay.
I try to be a quality individual. You know what, Spenny? Take a break. Have a ham and Swiss sandwich. You'll be all right.
I will.
Absolutely, but we can't talk about that right now. We got to talk about Swiss Insurance. With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their insurance premiums while increasing coverage. That's a lot of money to free up for the giving season. Happy holidays from Swiss Insurance, and go blue.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Schnurry, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl there, McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. It is game week for the college football playoffs. Of course, Michigan and TCU going at it. 4 o'clock, New Year's Eve out there in the suburbs of Phoenix. I guess we can say it that way, right? Is that fair? Okay. It's like 50 miles away.
Glendale?
Yeah, it is. Where else were you going to put a whole stadium, But, hey, they're doing it. It is Michigan. It is TCU. This is the first time we've been together here on game week. I want to go around the room and just get the 30,000 foot of where you are with this game. Terry, we'll start with you, then we'll go to DMac.
I don't respect anybody's defense out of Texas or Oklahoma. You could be worn down. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. TCU's only shot is if this turns into a shootout where Michigan can't stop them and TCU can't stop Michigan. But I think the bottom line, third and fourth quarters, even
the final word. The final word.
The final word. Even if the game is close at halftime, TCU's tongues are going to be hanging out by the end of the third quarter. They will lose.
And DMac, that seems to be the narrative, right? And the closer we get to it, the more I hear that, which, how often do games go the way the masses expect them to go?
Sometimes they don't, but the Michigan controls their destiny here, and what they need to do is establish that running game like they have all year long, because where are they strong? Where TCU is weak, right? We all know that Max Duggan's going to put it in the air 80 times, and they're going to be testing the secondary and stuff like that, but they also have a great defense that I think can combat that. But here it goes to controlling the game with the running game, with Donovan Edwards and stuff like this. To Terry's point, right, if they can do what they haven't done this year and really, put a 2 or 3 score lead in the first half, then the game's out of reach. If it turns into a shootout, that's the way that TCU, I agree with Terry, has to win the game. So it's more of Michigan shooting themselves in the foot and not doing what they've done, and especially as of late. So
TCU's going to win. They're going to have to score 50 points.
Right. Michigan's going to have to give up something that they haven't given up, let alone all year. And I also think that the way that, and I don't want to say careless, but you know what, there is some carelessness to that air attack of TCU is that Michigan take advantage of. And if they can do that in the first half and really solidify the game, it bodes well moving forward for the national championship game. So I think task at hand that Michigan, should be able to put them away if they establish the run. So I do think it's going to play out that way where we're going to pound the rock.
Neal, tell me something different.
Yes. In terms of
the Michigan TCU game.
Well, it's what I hear, and Todd's saying here in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. TCU is so physically overmatched that they have no shot. I mean, I don't, and I'm curious to get Sam Flannel. Then I'll circle back and weigh in on it. But Sam, is it going to be that simple this weekend? Because it doesn't smell like it will be.
I think it can be that simple because Michigan just has such a decided advantage in the trenches. I don't think anyone on TCU wants any part of that Michigan offensive line. I have some stats that I gave to the people on Monday, but I'll give them to you, Neal. In scoring defense, Michigan is 5th in the country. TCU is 57th.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear that shit, man.
That's 5 versus 57, bro.
Right.
Like,
okay.
That's a big difference.
How many games against a Big Ten West and all the offensively challenged people that they
played?
But
it's 5 versus 57.
How many plays? What tempo are they playing at? How many plays were in an average game versus average plays in a Big 12 game?
That is such a big difference. The rushing defense, it's staggering. The passing defense, it's staggering. The yards allowed is staggering. It's such a big difference.
I just don't. Those are fake numbers, dude.
They would be fake.
Are they
if they were
good?
close.
Yes, they're good.
Of course they're good, but their defense isn't good. They had one good game all year. They played a phenomenal game against Texas, but they also gave up 31 to Kansas. Right. They're not a good defense, and Michigan has a great offensive line. If they can pound the rock with Donovan Edwards, I think they'll win this game, and I think they'll control the clock. On the one combination that scares me, and we were kind of talking it before the game, is that I know Purdue kind of plays a different sort of offense, but I saw Charlie Jones just carve apart the Michigan secondary for 13 catches for 162 yards. And TCU has a better wide receiver, a much better wide receiver in Quentin Johnson, and a Heisman finalist quarterback in Max Duggan. I think they can put up some points and some yards, but I think Will Johnson can mark Quentin Johnson and limit him a little bit because Will Johnson is a dude. He's emerging, and also Mike Morris is coming back healthy. I think Michigan will win this game pretty handily. I think they'll be able to play their game. There really hasn't been a team all year that has forced Michigan to sort of not be able to play their game and control it. So I'm confident in this game that Michigan wins.
Yeah, and I get it. It's just for me, all these numbers that you clutch to your chest. They're very, very explainable as you go through the season and look how the season was constructed. I think people are selling TCU's defense a little short. They're unconventional in like the formation they play with that Rich Rod-esque. They run that 3-3-5 type deal. And it's unconventional to what we see. Is having the Big Ten kind of crammed down our throats at noon every Saturday in some quarter-filled stadium with some unenthusiastic announcer because they don't want to be there either. What?
No, but TCU, they gave up 34 to SMU, 31 to Kansas, 40 to Oklahoma State, 28 to Kansas State the first time, 31 the second time.
How many plays were those games played at?
But 31 to West Virginia, to the JT Daniels-led West Virginia. Come on, I'm not saying that obviously the pace is much faster in the Big 12, but the difference in defensive numbers between TCU and Michigan, they're staggering. They're not even remotely close. And I think if you were to sort of account for pacing and make everything equal, Michigan still has a much more talented defense.
And I don't disagree with that, man. I don't disagree with that. But you act like this disparity. It's like it's the 85 Bears defense against the Detroit Lions of last year.
But you're acting like Kansas is great. They scored 31 against Kansas.
Right.
Is Kansas all of a sudden a great team?
But that's where I think, and I think this is legitimate too, with TCU, I think people are overvaluing TCU's offense on the flip side of that coin. Their numbers are their numbers because of the pace they play at, because of the amount of plays when they play in these games, because of the tempo that everything goes. We've seen TCU's offense stagnate.
But you know how you reduce that tempo? 3 and outs. And guess what? A 3 and out, you only get 3 plays.
Mm-hmm. I think... I look at it as I think Michigan's going to win. I think they're the better team.
I agree.
But how it always is in the college football playoff is there's a team that doesn't really belong. There's a team that really shouldn't be there because they're not up to that caliber.
And I agree about Ohio State. You're right.
I think that is TCU.
I'm sorry.
I think TCU is going to go in there, and in that first round of the college football playoff, it's always, maybe one of the games is close, but normally it's 2 blowouts. And I think Michigan blows out TCU. Honestly, I think they're built to dominate a team like TCU.
Here's what I'm talking about. Like Adi's 411, and I appreciate you. You're involved with the show a lot. And I'm not just pointing you out on this. Although you typed it here, so that's why I'm reading it. Big 12, no defense conference. Look at the Badgers versus the Cowboys bowl game yesterday. See, these are the conclusions we're drawing. Do you know who played quarterback for Oklahoma State yesterday?
Not Spencer Sanders.
Bingo. Yeah. Look around all these bowl games, man. These teams that are putting seconds. Look around the NFL.
Oh, that bowl game stuff doesn't matter. But Oklahoma State, they did score 40 against TCU in their matchup earlier this year. Only you, Neal Ruhl, can be as positive as you are about the TCU defense. They stink. They had one good performance all year. They gave up 28 to Baylor as well. I didn't even mention that. I know that the disparity between Michigan's
Didn't Baylor
and
lose the Air Force?
Yes, the Baylor. Yeah, the Baylor team that's
who's also
blown the hell out.
Whose players dipped out of their bowl game too.
Neal, will you explain to Anthony why you lose? Why does Neal lose objectivity when he talks about Michigan?
I would say I'm the only one bringing objectivity to it.
I got numbers,
Factual.
bro. That's the thing. I know that the difference in defense isn't as glaring as the numbers, but it's still glaring. Do you really think anyone on TCU wants any part of that Michigan offensive line, which won the Joe Moore Award again, and is better than last year with Olu Oluwatimi dominating? He will make those TCU defensive linemen wilt.
No doubt. But see, okay.
You got to throw this in. Not just this season, but what have we been talking about for the last 10 years about that conference? They don't play defense, no matter how many plays. Texas Oklahoma is going to be 45-40.
The number of plays in a game has a direct effect on how many points are scored in the game.
Because you can't stop anybody. They're going 12 plays, 85 yards.
Right, in 2 minutes.
Right.
Because it's tempo. Because they get tackled, they go back up to the line, they run a play again.
I may be old-fashioned, but if you
that's how you like your cocktail.
Have a good defense and they go 3 and out, guess what? They only get 3 plays. That's it. They're off the field, your offense is on the field. Now, if you keep letting them convert third downs, guess what? They're going to be on the field for 15 plays. They'll run 85 plays for the game because your defense sucks. So the Temple thing is baloney.
So it's not math, it's baloney.
It's baloney.
Okay. So there's no mathematical element to it. It's like in basketball. Like Big 12 does play kind of a basketball style of football, where if you boil down points per possession, the gap is much closer than you think it is. Bam.
There's no defense.
It's closer, but it's not close. It's not as glaring as the numbers say, but it's still not close. Come on. You don't think that TCU's defense can give Michigan any problems. The only reason they gave Texas problems is because
see, what we're forgetting here, DMac, is we're taking everything at face value. You know what happens in games? Games are in silos.
Stuff happens.
Yeah. Stuff happens in games. And the moral of the story is, if Michigan helps them, which has happened in football games before, if Michigan helps them, it's one of the few times this year that they'll play a team that's capable of punishing you for a mistake.
Yeah,
Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm not saying that TCU has no shot of winning this game at all if Michigan doesn't play their game. I'm just saying that I think Michigan, the only way that they won't be able to play their game is if they beat themselves. I don't think TCU can line up straight up and beat them. But it is the college football playoff. They have both had a month off, so we'll have to see. I'm confident in the team I've watched all year. I'm confident that Michigan has some non-negotiables like that offensive line and that running back in Donovan Edwards that no matter what happens, they will bring it. That's why I'm so confident in Michigan.
No, and that's fair. And look, if I'm going to bet the family's grocery money on who's going to win the game, yeah, I'm going to take Michigan because a lot of stuff has to go right for TCU. But this just flat out dismissal of TCU is kind of questioning to me because again, DMac, and you know this because we've talked about it before. When you guys were in the playoffs and in the conference finals, well, that old number 1 line got just a few more minutes per game than they might have if it were regular season game against Phoenix, right?
Oh, absolutely. You're there to win, so you want to take care of yourself. And I think that's really the game plan that TCU has to win the turnover battle, and Michigan's got to shoot themselves in the foot. Right? I mean, we can all agree here if this Michigan team is what we saw and expect them to be and how they're progressing into the playoffs is that they should handle this team. But you're right in everything you say is if they take them for granted or don't take care of the football, this is a team that can put boom, boom, boom. Like we're just talking about the Mavs going 9 points in 35 seconds. This team could put, 21 points on you in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And young Neal, why can we not say it and you can sneak it in that you're saying the same thing we're saying?
What do you mean?
If you got to bet the house, you're going with Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying TCU has zero shot at winning.
That's the vibe I'm getting from everybody around town.
All right, tell you what. On the other hand, is TCU get punched in the face every playing down there.
Yes. Or no, not in the Big 12.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
they play.
Does Michigan get punched in the face when they play Rutgers?
TCU's not going to punch Michigan in the face, though.
No?
They're going to punch them in the gut with a Hail Mary, but it's not going to be
at the end of the day,
game.
I can't wait till that halftime text from Sam Flannel.
Yeah.
That's
when it's 10-7.
We'll see how it goes.
When it's 10-7 in the second quarter, and he's like, I knew this stuff was going to happen. I knew that we would overlook TCU. That the season's falling apart right now in front of us.
That's what happens, and when Sam Flannel's in a position like that, he might need something to put in his stomach to kind of calm him down, and he could always go to Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Check out the food trucks rolling around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and Terry and my favorite, lobster grilled cheese.
Bam.
Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and search locations to find Detroit schedule, or download the app and order ahead to earn points. You can even scan that QR code right there on the screen and figure out where they are throughout Metro Detroit. So make sure you go check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports, and of course, the very best place to work out in the entire world. Trust me, I've been with them for about 2 years now. Home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere for just $10 a month. The Black Card, an option as well. You basically own Planet Fitness. Do whatever you want in the place with the Black Card. Unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, access to over 2,000 of them around the country. You want to join? Easy. Join in club. You're going to pass a couple on the way home. Pull in the parking lot, do it that way. Jump on the computer. Go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Where your fitness is essential.
Yes, it is. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Shout out first, sorry.
Yes.
Terry Sawchuk would have been 92 or 93 today. Born in 29, so that makes him 93. Right? I thought
there you go.
I'd give that. That's one of the great goalies. So
bam.
A lot of people were asking. I saw it in the chat thread. Bill Felser brought it up. Machiavelli wanted to know. They were asking Tammy. So yes, it is. He was good. He passed away before I was born, but from what I saw, he was good.
No, he was okay.
He was okay.
He was okay.
His jersey, the number 1, is in the rafters.
We're just kind of wrapping up this discussion, and I'll leave it at this. So, you know, like we talk about like points per possession. I know Terry hates math and hates money and all that kind of stuff. Possessions per game in college football. Texas Tech, number 1 in the nation at 89 possessions per game. TCU played them, right? Oklahoma State, 3rd in the nation at 80 plays per game. TCU played them, right? They did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they did. Oklahoma, 12th in the nation, 77.5 plays per game. It makes a difference.
It makes, like I said,
Michigan, 75th in the nation in plays per game.
No, I understand that it makes a difference. It doesn't completely like narrow the gap to the point where TCU's defense is as good as Michigan's. Is it as bad as the numbers say TCU's defense? No, but
that's all I wanted to hear.
And that's fair. I will give you that.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
okay,
we can agree on that.
And we can still be friends, and we can move on.
Aww.
Move on from it. See,
cute. Aww.
Again, you know
friends.
Analytics, man. I know Terry hates them, but they're real, Terry.
3 and out. And you don't have 89 possessions or 89 plays. 3 and out.
Tough to get 89 plays with 3 and outs.
Get them 3 at a time, yeah.
The math does add up.
No. The clock won't allow that to happen.
That's what I mean.
Right.
It's impossible.
Jeremy Anderson says TCU maybe would have a chance if you put their all-time team together.
Okay.
Yeah.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
Well, I'm happy he's not there. Are you guys
Sammy Ball,
Sam,
right?
are you happy there's no LaDainian Tomlinson in the backfield?
Oh, well, yeah.
Of course.
LaDainian Tomlinson at TCU. I remember seeing highlights of him when I was young, and it was just putting up numbers that you'd barely ever seen from college running backs. Stud.
Sammy Baugh.
LT was the man.
Yeah, Sammy
Andy
Baugh.
Dalton went to TCU, right?
Yes.
I think Sammy Baugh played against Michigan for their last whole national championship.
Stop it. There you go.
What?
It'd be bad.
Tone.
Just
There
bad.
it is.
Bad,
He was great with
Holiday
leather helmets.
tone.
You were waiting for that one.
Holiday tone.
Why can't you behave for
Got
one
that
damn
holiday
show?
tone.
No, because they had just invented the forward pass. And Sammy Baugh was slinging it around the yard, man.
Slinging Sammy Baugh. That's his literal
What's his
nickname.
name?
At the
Slinging.
at the stadiums, you know, people would stand up against the fence and watch the games.
Holiday tone.
Commercials were for war bonds.
War bonds.
Okay. I
Uncle
want to
Sam
hear you
needs you.
talk about possessions next week.
Okay.
Alicia said Sam tried to talk numbers to Neal and got shut down, and roles reversed, and Sam was nice and sat there and listened. Therefore, Sam is a better person than Neal.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Who's WoodwardSports.com chat thread?
Factual.
Who's a better person, Sam Flannel or Neal Ruhl?
All right. How about this? Will TCU have 85 plays against Michigan?
They want to.
Will they?
We'll see.
I know they want to, but I bet you they don't. You know why? Because there's going to be times where TCU is going to be a 3-and-out, or they have the ball for 4 plays.
Their offense isn't as dynamic. Their offense, on the flip side of that coin, their offense benefits from that. Their perception of their offense benefits from that, because both things are true. It hurts them with defensive perception, but it helps them with offensive perception. I just think that in games like this, you're going to see, and your point about Purdue, Sam Flannel, I think plays, because Quentin Johnson, if I'm TCU, Quentin Johnson's getting 20 passes thrown his way, minimum.
And why wouldn't he? Because
Right.
you saw Charlie Jones. I know that Charlie Jones isn't as good as Quentin Johnson, but he's a damn fine college wide receiver, and he carved Michigan's secondary up like butter. And it was actually, it kept Purdue in the game for a large part of it, and then of course Aiden O'Connell threw a couple interceptions. But the one thing that I think Michigan will be able to do to kind of neutralize that is, I think having Mike Morris back will be huge. They didn't get a ton of pressure on Aiden O'Connell, and also another month of practices for Michigan cornerback Will Johnson. He's one of those guys that I think could be a Thorpe candidate in the next couple of years. Could be like a Derek Stingley Jr. or a Sauce Gardner for Michigan. There's a couple guys on Michigan who are dudes, like high-end dudes. Donovan Edwards is one. Will Johnson is the other.
Donovan Edwards.
Can I be Neal for like 20 seconds?
Yes.
Oh, Michigan's bringing back Mac Morris, huh?
Yes.
Mike Morris the linebacker or Mike Morris the lawyer?
Hey, both of them win.
Yeah, both
That's right.
The billboards around town say that both of them
That's
win.
right. They both win. So which one is
I
going to
think you
be
bring up a
Michigan's
great
linebacker?
point, though, Sam, is that you see this sort of the coming out party against OSU for Will Johnson to being the real deal. He's going to get a lot of action this game.
Yeah.
And like you said, why not test your young buck to see what he has? And there's going to be, I'm sure that there's going to be some growing pains throughout the game by some completions, but I expect this kid's a ball hawk, man. So I like Michigan's position. They take care of business and do it for themselves.
Real quick before we go to the final break. But when we come back from the break, we haven't done this in a while. Ask the legends, T-Foss, DMac. Ask them anything you want. We haven't done this in a minute, so I want to do it. Kevin Newsham says, wasn't Michigan winning championships during the Great Depression? Weren't they padding stats against malnourished players?
Oh, that's right. I got to bring in the media guy.
Whatever. Factual.
Malnourished.
Yeah, T-Foss, you got
The malnourished.
What'd you say, Spenny?
T-Foss says the media guide he has to bring in.
I got to bring in the media guy this week.
Against malnourished players. Because there was a food shortage during the Depression.
Well,
right?
guess what? I can't help you with anything malnourished, but you know what? If you got a bog project or something, at Alta, Uptime Matters, Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. So give them a call, whatever it is, in the yard. They got the big machinery. They got the job to do it. Alta Rents, they got you covered. Give them a call today, 844. Go to Alta. That's 844. Go to Alta.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our Lumberjack, Blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at FoalingWarehouse.com.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Got a question for anybody? Fire away while I give the opportunity to load those up. What do you got popping tonight, DMac?
Combat 1 tonight over in Waterford at the Plex. You know, your guys over there coming into town.
I know, man. I'm sad I'm going to miss that because you know I'm all about Mr. Kennedy.
Absolutely.
Kennedy.
That's it. We're going to hear it all live.
Kennedy.
Kennedy upside down microphone. Yes, we got a little hockey fight, little Midwest scum. Going to rack it up tonight. I know. Some of the Reg's going to be there. I think Sandy's going to be there. I think a lot of stuff. So it's
or as he's known now, Mr. Anderson.
So we'll see.
Anderson.
Ken Anderson. That's what he comes out as now.
There it is. No, I'm a big Tom Kennedy guy. I'm a big Mr. Kennedy guy, as you guys know. I even like John F. Kennedy. Too.
There you go. From back.
Tell him I said hello. That's my guy. Man.
You got it. I will.
We got to get him on one day.
Sounds good. I'll ask him.
Low key, one of the more underrated performers in the history of wrestling.
Absolutely. If you go through the WWF, the WWE are all through. Like he's made a point. Great grind liner in the wrestling business.
Top 3 moment I've ever witnessed in wrestling. I was at WrestleMania when he won the Money in the Bank match. It was awesome. I was one of 35 people cheering for Mr. Kennedy that day because all the faces were out there. And
Heel Neal, baby. Heel Neal.
Yeah, I love
he comes by honestly since he was young.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread question for DMac. Todd saying, DMac, what's the best story when you had the Stanley Cup?
The best story when I had the Stanley Cup I can't share on air. I mean, of course. No, my favorite, and it's funny because my oldest daughter Emerson, who's 24 now, will be in town on Friday. And we'll probably go down for ice cream. But after we won in 2008, my youngest was 4. So the kids were, 4, 10, 12, 14 and stuff like this. Took it, put probably 18 to 24 scoops of ice cream, made the biggest sundae over at Ray's as you could find, and got ice cream headaches the whole time. I'm an ice cream man. You got to remember, it's sterling silver, so the conduit of the cold. Yeah. So you're just eating it, but it's the greatest ice cream headache I ever had. Got the kids and friends all around it, and just chugging it down.
That's awesome.
So that's a good one.
That was very
17 and a half beers. That's always the question. Can't get the 18th in. It bubbles over, right? So it's bubbling over. 17 and a half. It's been tried. True.
Calculated. That's math.
Calculated.
Sam Flannel and T-Foss would not accept that as fact.
I'd just drink the other half of the beer.
You would.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
WoodwardSports.com chat. That's a very on-brand question for DMac. Let's get a very on-brand question for T-Foss. This comes from Nick Tomasek, who says, ask T-Foss, what's a bigger meat market, Wayside or Fish?
Fish? I'm not familiar with Fish.
Wayside's up in... You talking up in Mount
Mount
Pleasant?
Pleasant, and there's one in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
Or it was. I'm not familiar with fish. I'm going to have to say Wayside.
You're going to have to say Wayside?
Yeah.
Were there meat market qualities to it?
Yeah, I mean, you just went there. You're looking for women. Now, you might dance.
Try to find a honey at the meat market.
And, that's what it was. And, you know what? And sometimes you were lucky, you could pick up a woman who hadn't passed out yet. She had to be there early in the evening.
Rules were different back then, T.
Huh?
Happy birthday, by the way, Nick.
Yeah. Here's one. Ethan Brown, do we have a style for Sam Flannel's Tom Kennedy 85 tattoo? Yes, we do. Latin script, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, unfortunately, with that loss to the Panthers, the odds of me having to pay up for that are slim. But I will say this. If Tom Kennedy catching the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl means the Lions winning a Super Bowl, I will run to the tattoo shop. That'll be a bet I will be happy to pay up on.
All right, there you have it. Ask T. Foss. What's your best bad boy story? And we might not have enough time for that one, but give us a good, quick one.
I got to think of one.
Yeah.
On the court, off the court, just
whatever your best story is. I like the Adrian Dantley story that you shared on the 30 for 30.
I like when you fought the other reporter.
Oh, God, that was. We were at Chicago Stadium, and we're on deadline. And back then, you had to take the plug out the phone, connect it to your computer to send your story. So the Bulls and the Pistons are playing, and I put a phone near my computer so I could send my story. Well, 30 seconds later, the phone disappears. There's this radio guy named Les Grobstein from Chicago station. So I said, dude, that's my phone. I'm going to take it in like 30 seconds. And he said, I didn't see your name on it. I said, all right, I'm taking that phone in 30 seconds. So he goes through his stance up. 3, 2, 1, 0. The Chicago Bulls, behind the 36 points of Michael Jordan, defeated the Detroit Pistons at Chicago Stadium. I took the plug, unplugged it, and put it in my computer. He was pissed. He's like, man, you better put that back in. So I told you I needed it in 30 seconds. So anyway, I go to tapping stuff to send my story. So he's all pissed, cussing me out and everything. So then I look up, and I looked up just in time to see 2 cups of Coke splash right in his face. And I looked around, and it was Drew Sharp had thrown the Coke in this guy's face. So now he's really pissed. I'm going to take both y'all back out and kick our ass. I said, you can't beat one of us up. How you going to take both of us out there? And so I looked at Drew, and he had a cup of Coke full with Coke in his hand. I said, dude, how did you hit him with Coke and you still got a full Coke in your hand? He says, I was going to blast his ass again. So
let me guess, nothing happened outside of that, just a lot of...
Yeah, so then he tries to, he gave me the weakest ass tap on, like he's going to shove me. So I shoved him back, and then security came and broke it up. And then
squaring up.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear. So Isaiah Thomas might be more right that T. Foss is the instigator to a lot of walkouts to the bad boys and stuff.
Hey, I told him I need the phone in 30 seconds. He didn't listen.
It sounded like it was yours to begin with.
Absolutely.
My phone. And then 2 days later, it was in the early Sunday edition of the Chicago Tribune. The bad boy Pistons are not the only bad boys. And they had me and Drew, what we did.
Hey, it's a city. It's a city thing. Absolutely. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Everybody, for Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxton. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.
Peace.